Welcome to the biggest big bore shootout ever. We've got a lineup of 9 menacing machines, but which one is the true king of power? So let's meet the machines. Representing the 450s, we had to have a 450 here, so we've got a KX 450, the Kawasaki. Next to that, the KX 500. I've always heard that this thing was the fastest of the 500s from back in the day. But is it faster than our modern day fuel injected 500? This is Kong, our BRC Husqvarna. Next to that, we've got the YZilla, the YZM 500, also from BRC. She is a beauty. And no big bore shootout will be complete without Big Red, the iconic CR500. We've got one here, let's see how it performs today. And then another oddball spanner in the works here. We wanted the biggest 4-stroke we could find. We've got the KTM 520. How will that perform today? We're about to find out. And then we're getting to the true monsters. The 600cc Black Panther, the fuel injected Panthera motorsports machine. This thing on the dyno is the king, but will that translate down the drag strip today? And then we've got the 700cc Megalodon, the biggest bike, the biggest 2-stroke in the world, probably. She's here today. And finally, the Joker card for the event today. We had to do it, didn't we? We had to get a Stark Varg electric bike involved in the racing today. Will the 4-strokes, will the 2-strokes be able to defeat the electric powered Stark? Let's get the boys ready, let's get us geared up, let's go racing.
The stage is set for the ultimate big bore dirt bike shootout. But who will be riding today and how will the competition work? Our first rider is pro racer Stephen Clarke. He's come armed with the 500cc Honda and the Stark Varg. Next, we've got Glen Phillips, who has arrived here with the 2 Kawasaki's and the KTM 520. And sharing the 999 laser channel bikes today will be Sean Smith and myself. We'll determine who gets to ride which of those bikes in just a second.
So we've got a lot of bikes here. Things could get a bit wild if we didn't have a bit of structure to the video. So the way we're going to do it, we're going to do bracket racing. We're going to have 4 semi-finals with 2 riders to make a 4-man finale. There's 9 bikes though, so that's an odd amount of machines. What we need to do first of all is decide which of the 2 4-strokes Glen is going to use today. So we're going to do a 4-stroke LCQ between Steve and Glen. So Glen, you can decide if you want to ride the Kawasaki 450 or the 520. We'll do a coin flip. Anyone? This is for Glen to decide which bike he's going to use in the LCQ.
Heads 520s, tails 450.
Okay.
Heads.
520, KX 450. Winner of that advances to the semi-finals. A one and done. The semi-finals and the final are going to be best of 3. So I've got 4 bikes. I've got the 2 BRCs, and I've got the 600 and the 700. We're going to fight for a package. So one package is Kong and the 700. The other package is the Zilla and the Black Panther. So we do rock, paper, scissors. Winner chooses their package. This is for all the marbles. Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors, go. Yes! I'm going to have Kong.
You cheated.
I'm going to have Kong. Kong and 700, and you can have 600 and Zilla.
Yeah, all right.
So our first bout of the day is of course going to be the 4-stroke LCQ. Glen is riding the KTM, which is from the early 2000s, and Stephen is on the modern KX 450. And Glen storms off the line on board the KTM. That was a picture-perfect start for Mr. Phillips on the 520. He's got the lead at the moment, but the Kawasaki is coming back strong towards the end of the straight. We can see here from the drone view the Kawasaki making a comeback and just stealing the win at the very last moment. that then, the Kawasaki advances to the semi-finals and the KTM can sit out the rest of the day.
Who won, Glen?
Clarke. That just out-dragged this.
Yeah,
This pushed power down so well though.
yeah. You might want your whole shot device when you race with this one going forward. I just wheelied, and by then you were so far ahead.
One and done.
There we have it then, we have our 8 machines competing in the semi-finals.
So here we go then, the battle of the BRCs. Kong versus Zilla, me versus Sean.
Let's get this first semi-final underway. And that's a terrible start by me on board Kong. My reaction to the flag drop was slow to say the least. And that's given the advantage to Sean on board the YZilla. Can Kong claw it back though? Kong started clawing it back a little bit towards the end, but it was too little, too late for me on board the Husky.
No! Oh, I need to get out the gates better. Last time we was out, Kong took the win in the landslide. This is why I picked her today. And Sean beat me on the Zilla. But it's best 2 out of 3.
So will it be a clean sweep for Sean and the YZilla, or can I get a score on the board? Heat 2. Let's go. A much better start by me on Kong this time. So I've got the early advantage on board the Husky over the Yamaha. Sending it on board Kong then, hanging off the back. Trying to get every ounce of power out of the beast. Kong takes the win this time. And there is nothing Sean could do about it.
Woo! Yeah! We're going to a showdown. Here we go then, for all the marbles to advance to the final. Will it be Kong? Will it be Zilla?
So we go to a sudden death showdown. The winner of this race advances to the final.
Is this all serious now?
And it's a strong start from both of us here. It's going to be a close one. So it is neck and neck off of the line.
Oh, I don't know, they were side by side.
The front wheel on Kong coming up a little. That's going to give the advantage to Sean maybe. And it's tight across the line. It's a photo finish. Who will be advancing to the final? We might have to take this one to the adjudicator.
So Dan is a referee.
Go to the adjudicator.
Yeah. VAR.
Hard to say on that one. No,
It's not hard to say from here, mate.
I don't know about smoked him. Your wheel came up a bit.
Yeah.
And then that was it. You were up and like feathering the clutch.
Yeah, yeah.
That is, sorry, but that's as close as it gets.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good heat.
Yeah, I can, yeah.
So the first machine heading to the final is the YZilla YZ 500. Our next bout sees the clash of 2 icons. The CR 500 and the KX 500 are going head to head. Glen on the KX, Steve on the CR. This is going to be an interesting one. Sean's there with the flag. And again, Glen is so good off of the line. He's got the early advantage on board the KX 500. He's showing off now. And here's Steve's view of that KX500 disappearing off into the distance. But that showboating at the end from Glen allowed the CR500 to claw back a couple of bike lengths there. So it was a lot tighter at the finish than it could have been. So that's 1-0 to the Kawasaki.
Hey,
So is there anything Steve can do on board Big Red to put a stop to Mr. Phillips? And again a hot start from Glen on the Kawasaki, the green machine, running away with the race lead yet again. And he's on the back wheel again. But I would say that's a much more convincing win this time around for the Kawasaki. And that might be it then. And with that, it looks as though the Kawasaki will be advancing to the final. Unless Steve has any objections.
Hey, I think I won the first one.
You think?
I think I won the first one.
So do you want to go again?
We'll need to go. We need to film. I reckon I won the first one.
Did you bollocks?
We need to film it.
You want me to beat you 3 out of 3 now, do you?
Well, we might have to do a third one unless he can he check it?
Do you want to borrow my dummy?
We're going to the adjudicator. Yeah. Because Clarke thinks he won the first one.
Did he bollocks?
But he obviously doesn't. So we're just going to watch it back and see what the crack is.
Well,
What's it?
Go back.
Right, ready?
Yeah.
What's it? And go. There's the line now.
Nah, he got it, didn't he? Glen got it.
Told you! Champ! Champ! Battle of the fat man.
I just can't get it off the gate.
Old school, see? Old school.
So the KX500 takes its place in the final 4. But will she be joined by the KX450?
Oh yeah, now you're allowed it.
You can eat the horsepower.
Or will the Stark Varg electric bike be taking the 3rd spot in the finale? Again, what a start from Glen. He is firing off the line today. Great technique from the Welshman. But look at that Stark Varg go. Once Steve tamed that power, got it under control. The electric bike sprinted off with the lead there. There was nothing that the Kawasaki can do here. But it was still tight across the line. The win goes to the Stark. Is there anything Glen can do here? Or is that Stark just too mighty for the 4-stroke? Steve is fighting with that Stark to keep it under control there off of the line, but he's got it tamed now. He's hanging off the back and he's running away with the race yet again on board the electric machine. That's quick.
That thing's so quick. Just cheat day should be banned.
Huh?
What you got to say?
Mate, I'm telling you, there's no beating this electric bike. And there's a lot of motorheads out there that are going to hate that, but the proof's going to be in the pudding. That thing is so quick.
That is quick.
The Stark Varg advances then. And now we have one last semi-final to go through. And this is a battle of the monsters. the Black Panther 600 versus the Megalodon, our shed-built 700cc two-stroke.
Okay, so it's a battle of the big boys. Black Panther versus Megalodon. Probably the most advanced big boy we got here in the Black Panther versus the most agricultural in the Meg. Let's see what we can do here.
It's a dead heat off of the line. After the first gear change though, it looks like the Black Panther has a slight advantage over the Meg. And Sean's showing off now, taking a good long look over his shoulder. The first win goes to the Panther.
I think he was playing with me, just toying with me there. I got out the gates well, but the Panther took the win in the first heat. Best of three. Let's see if I can make it a sudden death.
It looks to be much closer this time around then. Good gear changes on board the Meg. Keeps it close as we hit the halfway mark. Sean's looking over again, but I think he realises the race is a little bit closer this time. Nevertheless, the Panther still claims the win to advance to the final.
Oh, man, you can't do that anywhere else, can you? 600 versus 700 drag race, flat out, off the back. Balls! I've been beaten in both races by my own bikes, by a granddad. But the stage is set for the finale. That wasn't in the script, Sean. I was supposed to at least get one bike to the final.
So the Black Panther takes the last spot in the final four. It's almost time for the main event, but first we just need to say a big thank you to our sponsors 24MX. Check them out for all of your dirt bike accessories and hard parts, and of course to Puceline motorcycle oils as well. Check them out for all of your oils, lubricants, cleaner products and more. As always, a huge thank you goes out to our channel sponsors for supporting us and helping us to make videos like this one.
Okay, so the stage is set for the final. We've got the Black Panther going up against the Stark Varg, going up against the KX 500, going up against the YZilla. Now, I actually didn't qualify. Sean beat me on both of my own bikes, but we've decided I'll take the Black Panther in the final, right? Yeah. And you're going to go on the Zilla. Yeah. Just explain your method with the Stark, what horsepower you're using.
So I'm starting in 45 horsepower for about 10-15 metres out the gate, then I'm shifting up. And in my first run I shifted up to 60 horsepower and Glen was a bit closer than I liked, so my second run I went up to 80 and just left him in the dust.
You can't do that on the Meg, so I don't think it's fair.
I think that's cheating. I think that's cheating. I think it should be 80 horsepower off the start.
Yeah, let's do first run 80 horsepower off the start and see what happens.
All right. If you want to get beat that bad,
well, people always moan. It's
always
paying for the Meg gun.
This is what they'll want in the comments. Yeah. They'll want that in the comments, that it, you know, why didn't you run it in 80 horsepower from the start? So let's run it in 80.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can control that.
It, yeah.
It's game time. Game on. Let's get to the final.
Before the final, we actually decided to do a B final with all of the bikes that had been knocked out so far. And we drew straws to decide who would ride what bike. So I'm on board Kong here, Glen is on the CR500, Sean is on the KTM 520, and Steve is on the KX 450. So this is just a little bit of fun before the final. Let's find out who's the best of the rest. And this one was actually very close indeed. The two 4-strokes took the early lead there, and the two 500s bar to bar at the finish as well. Throughout the day we noticed that the two pro riders tended to be a lot better off the line for obvious reasons, so we actually decided to switch bikes in this B final as well to see how that would affect the results.
Yeah, Sean ride the 500 then, I'll ride the Panther Kong, Mark's ride the 450.
Yeah, but perfect. That's a good swap. And then if no one's on the same, well, we're not on our own bike.
You want to put the cable clutch back on, Steve?
We actually did a few of these bonus runs throughout the day, and we'll be uploading those to our Facebook page and our Instagram page as well at 999 Laser, so make sure to follow us over there to see those bonus bouts. And here we go, we've swapped bikes and Sean absolutely fluffs his first ever start on a CR500. That is not the way to do it.
Oh no! I didn't have enough weight to hold this bad boy down.
So we'll have to run that one again, and it will be interesting to see where the CR500 slots into this battle here, because it was close. But you can see Steve Clarke on the KTM 520 just takes the win over Kong and the KX450. Here we go then, the last race of the B final. Let's see if Sean can get off the line this time. And yet again, Glen Phillips storms away from the line. He's on Kong this time, and look at that. He's running away with it here, but Sean's coming back on the CR500. That is literally bar to bar across the line. It was a great jump for Glen, but Sean came back strong at the end. That one is too close to call for me. Let me know, guys, who won that race, the CR500 or Kong? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. I think it's time we move on to the main event. It's final time.
Here we are then, into the final. I'll let the side down, I'll let Kong down by not getting her qualified. But I'm here on the Black Panther. Sean elected to go with YZilla for his ride. And this is a 4-man finale.
We are ready and raring to go for the grand finale. Let's do this.
It's going to be about who gets out the gates the best to try and beat that start. So let us know in the comments which bike do you think is going to take the win. Black Panther, YZilla, KX500 or the Stark Varg. And also let us know which bike you want to win and which bike you've seen today has been your favourite. Let us know all that in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more big ball goodness like this coming in the future.
And you know what? I think Steve flinched there. He jumped the gate a little on board the Stark Varg, which means that he's absolutely running away with this one on board the electric bike. A bad start for Sean on board the YZilla, but he comes back strong at the midpoint to overhaul the Black Panther. But there was just no stopping Steve on the Stark once he got that bike under control. Here's Glen's view as he watches that Stark Varg disappear into the distance. So the Stark took the win in the first bout there. But like we said, it looked like Steve might have jumped the gate a little.
Oh my god! Oh, decimation by the Stark in the first run. 500 got off to a flyer. 600 started off really well, then felt like I didn't shift it quick enough. And the YZilla came back.
So let's run this back. Let's see if Steve and the Stark can make it 2 from 2. Or can one of the two strokes force a third and final bout?
let's get a 2-stroke win.
And that was a strong start for Mr. Clarke on the Varg then. He looks back at Glen to see where the competition's at. Glen's hanging off the back of the Kawasaki, the front wheel in the air. But yet again, that electric bike is just too damn quick. Glen took the fight to him, but not having to change gear, Steve just runs away with it. We're on board here, let's see how fast he gets. He's touching 80 miles per hour on board the Stark Varg to take the win on board the electric machine. And the rest of us roll back to the start line, dejected and defeated. But maybe it was all down to Steve's fast starting techniques. Let's swap the bikes for one final run here. Let's see if that changes the results in any way, or is that electric machine truly unbeatable in a straight line?
Do you want to do one more of those bikes? And let's swap. Oh.
So I've jumped on board the YZilla here. Sean is on the KX500. Glen is on the Stark Varg. And Steve, he's on the Black Panther 600. Let's do this. The final start, the final race of the day is away. And yet again, it's that Stark Varg running away with it. What a run from Glen there. Controlling the power, all 80 horsepower of that Stark to grab a dominant win there in the final race of the day. There's no denying it. That electric bike is a cheat code.
That's not even fair compared to a normal bike, is it?
Stark Varg is our champion today.
You're no longer required. I don't wanna see you around. I put fuel on the fire. Burn the bridge to the ground.
As always, guys, you've been watching 999 Laser. My name's Max. Until next time, I'll see you at the track.